Okay, hello and welcome to another remake session. So you just heard my remake of Mike Williams' Make You Mine. That song got suggested in my previous video and I decided to make a remake of it. So if you'd like me to do another remake, just leave a comment in the comment section and I'll consider your tune for my next video. So here we are in FL Studio and I've already loaded up a mixer here with some different sounds, and I've also outlined the playlist with some kick, snap, percussion, shaker, some noise. So this is the percussion, the drums, and I also have a lead, a bass and chords, and also some soft chords down here. So as you can see, I've already made some notes, both for the kick, for instance, here, and the snap, shaker, percussion, and I've also prepared lead synth, bass, and chords, and the soft chords. But right now it doesn't really sound that great. It's only with the default presets on 3XOC and some FL keys and so on. So we'll start by just going through what we have right now, and we will refine it and make it sound just like you heard in the intro. So this is the kick sound. This is a snap. So you can hear I already added some reverb on the snap. This is a percussion sound. And here we have the lead sound. So the lead, it consists of three different plugs, and it also has some lead vibrato down here. I haven't actually added the notes for this one yet, but we'll do that later on. And as you can see here, I've created something that's called a layer. So you can see this icon here, it's a layer, so you cannot link it to any mixer track. And this is how it looks. And what you can do with the layer, you can select multiple tracks, and then you can link that layer to those tracks. So whenever you make a sound with that track, it will actually make the sound on all these selected synths. So as you can see right now, if I press show children here, it shows that these three are the children of this layer. So that means whenever this layer plays, you can see all these three synths are actually making sound. The same goes for the chord and the bass as well. So the chord is linked to the chord keys and synth, and bass is linked to mid bass and sub bass. So let's listen to the bass. Just default presets going on here, and the chords. And then the soft keys here. So most of these synths are even 3XOC or FL keys. And we also have, for the soft keys, I've used the new image line plugin called Flex. And I've used Essential Pianos. I think you, in the beginning, when you start using this, you have to download it, but it's free. And then I've chosen the Steinway D piano. It sounds pretty nice, actually. So I think we should start off with making the lead. So we'll go into the lead pattern here, and we will start creating the lead synth. So for now, I'll disable the plug sounds and I'll go into the synth and we'll listen to it and start refining the sound. So I will change this to sawtooth and disable these oscillators. I'll add some detune and some phase randomization down here. And now it sounded really horrible, so I'll drag this down. So that's about the right octave for this sound. And I'll go to the volume envelope here in the envelope instrument settings. And I'll drag the attack down, the hold down, sustain, release down for now. and we'll just make this really short. And we'll add some sustain and release. Something like that. And then we will make the lead plucks. So I'll disable this one. So this one is a standard 3XOC again. We'll disable these two. And this one, we want that to be an octave higher. So you can see on this synth, I set it to 0 here, and plus 12 here means it's an octave higher. I'll do the same thing with the detune and phase randomization, and I'll go into mod X this time. And I'll add a low pass X2 filter, drag this one down, the amount up, remove the attack, the hold, sustain and release, and this one we need it to be a plucky sound. I'll add some release and sustain. And I think we should have a square waveform for this. So that's it for now. Doesn't really sound great, but we will add effects on these later and then it will sound better, I promise. Then let's move on to the other lead pluck. This one is a Fruity DX10, so it's a really great synth. And this is how it sounds right now. So we want to make a plucky sound with this one as well. So I'll bring down the decay here. And here we have the modulation. So this, just listen to this. So we can tweak this a bit. I think we want it to be like so. Something like that, and let's listen to it all together now. Sounds better, and now let's move on. So I just changed the pitch of the lead pluck, this one, and it sounds a bit different right now. And we also want to add some noise to the lead synth. So I'll select this noise here and we'll add it. And we also want to have some vibrato on this lead synth. So I'll go into the envelope here again and pitch, add some amount here and set the speed to 1 step. And trust me, when we add some effects to this, this will sound really great. So I'll add some reverb here to this one. So this is lead pluck, one of them. And this is the other lead pluck. So I think actually we will use the same effects on this one. And that we can actually take this reverb preset and we can go here to presets, save preset as. I can just drag it over and then we get the same reverb on this one as well. And let's also do that with the lead synth. So we'll just use this preset as an entry point. Just adjust the reverb here. Let's add the stereo separation to all of the reverbs. And let's also add some EQ to this one. So I'll add the EQ here, and then I'll use this preset here. I like this. And I'll just remove the bass. Maybe all the way up here. Remove some of the low mid as well. And we will use this for all the tracks. Drag this over. Like so. I'll just make sure the EQ is on top. So that's the first effect to be applied. So I'll just move those up. And maybe the lead synth can have some more of the low mids. So it's starting to sound nice. So right now, this is what we have. So sounds just fine. I will add some sidechain to this in the end, but I won't bother right now. So let's move on to the bass. So here is the bass pattern. Again, we have the bass linked to two different bass tracks. So both of them are playing. Okay, so let's get started with the bass sounds. We will get started with the mid bass first. And pretty much we will just make a square sound here. So listen to this. Oh, wrong pattern. And we will make this deeper. Something like that. And we will add some filter. Again, mod X, enable the amount, down with this. And we will add some resonance here, mod Y. And the LPX2 filter again. Disable attack, hold, add some decay. Something like that, and we will go to the mixer. We will add some chorus to this one, and we will use a preset here, and we will use the 50 detune preset. And we will add some reverb to this one as well. And we'll decrease the decay like this. Just make it sound a bit more metallic. Then we'll add a EQ to this one. Use this preset again. And we will leave some space for the sub. So we will start it here in the top part of the bass, and we will end it in the mid part here. Something like that. And right now I can tell I actually forgot. No, I didn't forget anything. I'm just hearing the sub bass sound. So let's move on to this one, and we will bring down the oscillator 2 and 3. And you can tell, I'll just disable the mid bass. You can tell this is way too light, so we want it to be really deep. And I think that's pretty much it for the sub bass. And we will add an EQ here again. And we will make sure that it doesn't steal anything from the mid bass. So it will just be in the sub and bass section here. So you can see here, it has some sound here as well. But it's pretty much just clicking. So we don't need that clicking. So together it's something like this. So now we can hear it together with the rest of the track. So I'll unmute this again by pressing T. You can also find the mute tool here. And then let's listen to it. Doesn't sound great yet, but that's because we have no sidechain and we also haven't added the chords. So let's go over to the chords now. Let's listen to it as it is right now. So it consists of keys and a synth. So we'll start with the keys. So I'll disable the synth for now. And the first thing you hear about this keys, it's trying to sound organic, but for these chords, we want it to sound quite harsh. So what you can do in FL keys, you can just up the treble, the hardness, and lower the release. So let's do that as we listen to it. So I also added some overdrive here, and it's just making this keys sound more like a synth key, and that's actually what we need for this track. So that's the keys, and then we have the synth. This one we just want to convert to sound like the lead synth we have. So what we can do, we can just clone the lead synth, and by holding down Alt, I think I can, Alt, and then you can just use the arrows to move it down. So I'll actually delete the chord synth here, and I'll rename this to chord synth. And what color? Yes, and link it to the correct mixer track. So now we have the same synth here. Now the layer isn't linked to the synth, so I can press show children and it's only listing the keys because it was linked to the track I just deleted. So I'll just select both of these by clicking and holding down Shift. I can select them both and I'll press set children, and now it should be playing on both. And I can also play the keys. Okay, so let's, I think actually we will make this synth an octave higher, so I'll just drag this an octave up. Sounds about right. So just like that, we can just reuse the synth we already created. And we will go in and add some reverb here. I'll just get started by using our preset from the lead plug. So again, just press and hold down this save preset button, drag it over. And we'll do that again for the chord synth. So now we have some reverb. I'll go in and disable the low end of this actually. I forgot to do that on those, so I'll just do that later on. So the low end needs to be disabled here. And there we go, some nice reverb. For the synth, I'll just move this down. We'll also add some chorus. So I'll find the fruity chorus. Where are you? There we are. I will try with the same detune preset that I used on the bass. Okay, that did not work out. Fat clean maybe? Or maybe we'll just use the default preset actually. I think so. It sounds quite nice. And let's also add some EQ to both of these. So again, EQ, add some this preset and add some high pass. We want some of the higher bass parts to shine through to make it a bit wider in the sound. And I'll again just use the same EQ for the keys here. And I'll move it to the top. Same goes for this one. I'll always have my EQ first, so that the effects that are applied to the already processed sound, and it's just a bit cleaner. So that means the chorus and the reverb, it doesn't have to process the bass, which isn't supposed to be there in the first part anyways. So let's listen to the synth now. I'll actually add some more overdrive to this keys. I think it sounds really nice. So that's the keys for now, and let's go back, and now we can listen to this. So again, press T and unmute. So it's actually starting to sound like the original, and let's go in now and add some compression, some sidechain to all of these. So I'll do it individually for each track so that I'll have more control on how much to sidechain everything. So I'll just quickly go through this with the lead synth, and then I'll just spare you for the rest of it so that it doesn't use too much time. So you go to the kick, you press this one, and that makes it send the signal, but we only wanted to send the signal and not the sound. And then we go into the synth, we add a fruity limiter, we add some compression here, enable the sidechain, you can right click also, you can see the kick is sending the signal, and we lower the threshold and the ratio. So let's listen to it now. So just the lead synth and the kick. So you can hear it's being compressed. And now I'm gonna do the same thing for all of the other channels, and I'm just gonna do that quickly and skip through it for you. So now I've added some sidechain to all of these, and we can modify it to make some of the sounds shine a bit more through, and maybe compress the bass a bit more. I like to do that. So let's listen to it with only the kick and the synths. So I'll increase the threshold on these. And as you can see here, I'm struggling to get enough sound on this one, even though I drag it up to the maximum level. So a hack you can do, you can go into the parametric EQ and you can use this slider to make it louder. So let's listen to it with the snap and the percussion as well. And now we also have this soft sounds here. I'll go into this one as well. So let's just do some sound design on this one as well. So I'll go into the soft here, and I think the keys are actually fine, but the synth, we need to do something about that. So I'll disable these oscillators again, and we'll use a sawtooth here, some detune maybe, and just an octave down. And we'll add some filter here on the mod X. And I'll use the low pass X2 filter again. Something like that. I think maybe it's an octave higher actually. And I'll right click this and create automation clip. So we can automate that filter modulation. And we will just keep this at this point here. And let's go back here. I'll do a trick. I'll just move this to the left like that. So we make sure that it's actually already cut when the synth starts, because FL Studio sometimes it tends to, when you have this as the base, it tends to make like a clip sound in the beginning before it understands, oh, we have an automation clip here, so I'll just start it right before. So we make sure to not get that clip sound like so. And yeah, here you can hear this shaker as well. So I think pretty much that's it for the soft sound. We can add some EQ again here. So I'll just use this chord synth preset for the soft keys. So I'll say preset as, drag it over to the soft synth as well. Maybe we can have a bit more bass on these ones because they're playing without the other bass shining through. So we don't need to leave as much room for the bass. And maybe some reverb on both of these as well. I won't bother with tweaking that sound too much. And now the final sound that we have forgot to make, we need to add some, there's a lead vibrato coming in here that goes like, and we will add that in here by the lead. And we have a lead vibrato here, and it's just a default synth. And we will design that a bit. So actually what I'll do, I'll take lead synth and the same thing here, save preset as, drag it over to the lead vibrato. And now we have the same synth there, and I'll rename it to lead vibrato. And then we can go into the piano roll and let's listen to it. And it's around here. And it goes real. So we need to make this slide. And what we can do is we can start the slide here. So we can double click this. And here we can add actually, I think this by enabling this slide here and accept, let's see. So yeah, you can see it's, and we want it to continue over here. So how long this is determines how long the slide is. So that means the slide goes on and stops here. So as we reach this point, the slide will be done. And this is the note that will continue as long as this note is present. If that made any sense. So this will be the duration of the note, and this will be the duration of the slide, and all the notes playing from here on out will be this note. So that's pretty much it. And we need to add some more vibrato to this one. So let's go in here. Actually, when you drag a preset on synths, it doesn't include this instrument settings, unfortunately, in FL Studio. So the lead synth actually had some vibrato on it already, but we've lost that information here. So I'll set it to 1 step and add some amounts here, and let's listen to it. Yeah, we want to make it quite heavy like so. And let's see here on lead vibrato. I didn't add sidechain to that one. I forgot to do that. So I'll move this preset over here. And same for the reverb. just move it over here. And maybe reduce the reverb a bit. And let's have the limiter after all the effects. So let's listen to it in the mix. Something like that. I think maybe we want some more reverb after all, and also maybe some more limiter, because I think it was a bit too loud in the mix. Maybe lower the volume a bit, and let's add some EQ to it as well. Bit shorter decay time, let's see. A bit less sidechain as well. Something like that, and that's pretty much the whole thing. So I did some final mixing, and I want to show you how it sounds right now. Pretty much what I did, I increased the sound of the lead synth. I did some stereo separation on the chord keys and chord synth. I could have done that with plugins as well, but I just did a tweak to this stereo separation knob here in FL Studio, which makes it go from mono on the right hand side to full stereo separation on the left hand side. And it works just as a quick thing. You could use a stereo imager plugin. FL Studio has a couple of those. I don't know where they are. They are here, Stereo Enhancer and Stereo Shaper. You could use one of those, but for this purpose I've just left it as this. And I also reduced the vibrato on the Vibrato synth a bit. And on the master I just added a fruity limiter and increased the gain just to make the sound pop a bit more. So let's listen to it. By the way, don't mind these Edison recorders. They are just to record the sound for this project. So the sound will come in here when I press play, as you see. So let's listen to it. Okay, so thanks for watching this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in a couple of weeks for another remake. And please check out the description for the download link to this FLP file, and also leave a comment if you want me to remake anything else, and I'll consider it for my next video.